Okay, so a while ago I asked the GarageBand subreddit how to best separate out each parts of a drum track so that I could add the individual beats from individual parts of a drum kit, like the kick and the claps, on the MacBook version of GarageBand rather than the iPad version of GarageBand, which lets you do this relatively easily. And nobody responded, but I have since found a hack which I'm going to share with you just in case someone else finds it useful. I'm not claiming that this is the best way to do it. This is just the way that I know how to do it. So the first thing you want to do is select the drummer, create a drummer track. I'm going to mess with it a little bit just so it's not exactly this, just the default. So let's make it a little bit simpler, and this is what it would sound like. Okay, so we want to turn this into a MIDI track essentially. First of all, you need to copy the drum track, and I do this by pressing the Option key and then dragging down that track. You can also just do a standard copy paste. The next thing you want to do is add a MIDI track, a MIDI instrument, which the default for me is the classic electric piano. It really doesn't matter what it is, but unlike copying a drummer track to another drummer track, you can't just press Option and drag it down, it won't let you. So what you need to do instead is right click copy, then click on the MIDI track and right click paste, and now you have all the individual notes that make up this drummer track as if they were notes on the classic electric piano. Now, although you can't do the whole Option drag from drummer to MIDI, you can actually do a drag from a MIDI instrument up back into drummer. So you can do that, or you can do a copy paste again, and then you can see that in this drummer track is all the parts that make up the sounds in that track. So if I listen to only this track, it should sound exactly the same as the original drumming track. Now, the issue for me is that I don't know what individual parts of a drum kit actually sound like. So this, I'm presuming it's a kick, I don't actually know. But what I would tend to do is maybe, let's say, when you wanted the kick, you could delete everything and then just have the kick. And add in an extra one here or there, whatever you fancy. And what I tend to do is, before deleting any notes, is duplicating this track when it still has all its notes. So maybe I'll just move this up here. So I have like a reference drum track, and maybe I would call this one, the kick. And then I'd make another track with just the cymbals, or another track with just the claps. So basically that's how I do it. It would be great if this said more than just this is C, or this is A sharp. Yeah, so I don't know how to name these parts, but yeah, this is my hack.